Councillor Esau?
Speaker, can you hear?
Yes. Proceed.
Speaker, can you hear?
Yes.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I understand we're having a virtual meeting and not a physical meeting, which means that every time we go on a break and we come back, I think the first thing you need to be assessing or auditing will be in the numbers to make sure that we are correct, and also it affects the scores. So I think before we can start this meeting, can we have the assurance that the numbers are the same as we have left off prior to the break? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mteto.
No, Chair, I just wanted to remind your team to unmute myself and Councillor Nicole Bowman. And I also aligned myself with a request from the ACDP.
Okay, thank you. Can you please unmute those two leaders, colleagues? Let's confirm the numbers before we proceed as per the request. Whip of parties, I'm sure you are ready to confirm the numbers. Let's start from the ANC. DA.
Chair, I'm still trying to assess that, but as far as I know, we're still at 53, unless if other people get kicked out by the system, but we're still 53.
53. Okay, thank you. EFF.
Speaker, we're still 22.
Thank you. IFP.
We're still 14, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Bumkosi. Action SA. APC.
Somlomo sinomphephetwa sibabili la endlini.
Siyabonga.
Thank you.
ACC.
We are two, Speaker.
Thank you. ACTP.
Two, Speaker.
AIC. AIC.
AIC Speaker ukhona uzoconfirma maduzane usenenkinga ye-budget yakhe.
Right.
Le-gadget yakhe njalo. So
Thank you. TLC.
DLC is present, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. ATEC is absent. APC. No, APF, sorry. APF.
We are here, Speaker, we are here.
Thank you. ATM.
ATM 1.
Al-Jama.
Al-Jama 1, Speaker.
JEP. KZNI. MF. Mosa. Absent, okay. NFP.
NFP present, Speaker.
Thank you. PFP.
PFP present, Speaker.
PRM.
I'm in Somlomo.
Thank you. TA.
TA is present, Speaker.
UIM.
UIM present.
Thank you. Freedom Front Plus.
Freedom Front Plus present, Speaker.
Thank you. Let's go back to ATM.
ATM present.
Al-Jama.
Present. Al-Jama present, Speaker.
JEP and KZNI. JEP, KZNI, and MF.
KZNI present, Speaker.
Thank you, MF.
Sorry, Speaker. I think the MF is having some technical problems, which she sent me a message. She cannot get unmuted.
Councillor Maharaj, please raise your hand so that you can unmute with this side. You can speak now, MF.
Present, Speaker. Thanks.
Thank you. ANC, please confirm your numbers. ANC, please confirm your numbers. Action SA, while we are waiting the ANC, can you confirm your numbers? Okay, thank you. Thank you. We have received the chart. You are 4. And now all parties have confirmed their numbers except those that are not part of the meeting, of which ATEC and MOSA. Numbers have been confirmed. I'm waiting for the ANC to confirm the numbers. Can I get an indication from the ANC? Are you still part of the meeting? Or you have disappeared? Or you are still caucusing? Can I get an indication from any ANC councillor that can address me to indicate that are you still part of the meeting or you are engaged on something else? Because not responding is taking council time. The agenda is still long. Can I get an indication?
Well, Chair, I saw something on the group saying there's lunch at City Hall. Knowing the ANC, they are busy eating, but I think we do have quorum. We may proceed.
Let's check the numbers, colleagues, to check whether we meet quorum or not. Councillor Busi, Ndlovu, I see your hand.
Thank you, Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm not at liberty to give the exact numbers, but I can see number of ANC councillors that have already connected.
We need the confirmation of the ANC councillors who are connected. Councillor Madlala, maybe you'd assist us. Madlala, I see your hand. Okay. Councillor Madlala? Councillor Madlala, you are unmuted this side. You are recognized.
Yes, I was saying we have 82.
ANC 82. Thank you, Sosa. Thank you. Let me check whether do we meet quorum. Colleagues, please confirm. Yeah, thank you, councillors. Based on the numbers confirmed by parties, we do meet quorum. We'll then proceed. City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. We're on 1.4, request for authority to renew sister cities partnership between the city of eThekwini and the city of Daejeon in South Korea, and to form the new sister city partnership with the city of Xiamen in the Republic of China. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, City Manager. I've got Councillor Ngomalo, who's the speaker. Councillor Ngomalo. Councillor Ngomalo, please raise your hand so that the team will unmute you. Can you check that Councillor Ngomalo is unmuted? Yeah, Councillor Ngomalo, you can speak now.
Speaker, am I audible?
Yes, you are. May proceed.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Greetings to you and colleagues. The city is known both its technology and research institution. Daejeon is known as a science town, as one of South Korea administration hubs. Already, Durban was listed as a twin sister to this metro in 2011, as per Department of International Relations and Cooperation refers to as the twinning agreement. Daejeon boasts a population of 1,469,543 million, contributes about 3.1% of the population, compared to the 3.9 million in Durban. There is quite several key learnings that Durban can learn from this agreement. In terms of innovation and all aspects of service delivery, Daejeon serves as a transport hub for major rail and roads. This impeccable city houses about 23 institutions of higher learning and has earned its nickname, High Technology City. Partnering with such a city can yield a better economic output for eThekwini. Investment should be focusing on pioneering technology through partnership. With institution of higher learning, already Durban is tourist city. This partnership can also boost tourism into Durban. As the IFP, we supported this twinning agreement based on the aforementioned reasons. On the other hand, Xiamen is one of the top 100 cities in the world by scientific research. Xiamen has a population of 5,163,970 people living in it. This city has diverse and well-developed economy. It is the first to refer to the business environment indexes of the World Bank with the aim of creating world first rated business environment. Xiamen focuses on the development of 5 major industries: electronic
Councillor,
information,
Councillor
equipment,
Councillor
manufacturing,
Ngumalo,
tourism,
Councillor
and culture,
Ngumalo, your time is
modeling,
expired.
logistics.
Your time is
Therefore, as
expired.
Inkatha Freedom Party, we do support this.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Ngumalo. Councillor Madlala.
Siyabonga siyabonga kakhulu mhlonishwa njengenhlangano kakhongolose siyasapotha kakhulu le initiative sicabanga ukuthi iyakoshaya la kubuhlungu khona ngiyajabula kakhulu ukuthi abeqembu lenkatha bawenzile umsebenzi ukuthi ke bathi ukubheka ukuthi imalana nani lento and siyajabulela kakhulu into yokuthi ngisho namaqembu aphikisayo akwazi ukuthi ayithathe interest ey'ntweni esizenzayo njengomkhandlu kusijabulisa kakhulu lokho siyayibonga kakhulu i-support yabo sidlule lapho bese sithi-ke lezi vumelwano esifuna ukuzenza nalamadolobha omabili zinezela kwamanye amadolobha amaningana esesike saney'vumelwano nazo esiyibona zithela izithelo ngakho-ke siyethemba ukuthi nalesi sizosisiza siyabonga.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Madlala. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, System Manager.
Sorry, Speaker, Freedom Front do not agree.
I hear there's someone talking.
The Speaker, it's a Freedom Front. We do not agree. We abstain. We don't have, sorry, we not abstain. We're against this motion.
Freedom Front is against. Okay, let me get the screen. Mtetwa. Councillor Mtetwa, your hand is up.
Thank you, Chairperson. May I humbly request that in the interest of time, I'm sure all the party leaders are muted here. If it is only the Freedom Front Plus that is against, I mean, let's just record that, and I believe everybody else is in favor of these recommendations.
Yeah,
That's in the interest of time.
Thank you, Babu Mtetwa, that assist us to move with speed. If party leaders agree with that, I don't have a problem as a speaker to accept that party leaders give us an indication than to go to each and every party to vote. Is there any other party that support the Freedom Front Plus? Councillor Mohammed?
Speaker, I had my hand up, but Councillor Mtetwa just covered me. I was saying if there's one party that's disagreeing, let's note that and move forward. It's going to save us time. But I was covered by my colleague, Councillor Mtetwa.
Yeah, thank you. Councillors, is there any other political party or councillor who's in support of the proposal from Freedom Front Plus? There's no one. It means we can record that it's only Freedom Front Plus who's against this item. Yeah, thank you very much. Therefore, the item will be carried through with the majority of council supporting it. Mr. Manager.
1.5 Mandela Day 2022 committee recommends.
I have got Councillor Kwala and Councillor Madlala. Bob Kwala.
Angibonge somlomo. Siyayimukela i-report kodwa ke noma sithanda ukugxeka le yokungakwazi ukwenza izinto ngesikhathi. Izinto ezinjengalezi zidinga sibe nesikhathi sokuyihlela. IMandela Day akekho umuntu ongayazi ukuthi into ekhona every 18th of July. Kodwa mayizoqhamuka isiyedlule, it's a disgrace to us. Kunezinto ke la esingakhotha kuzo uDr Nelson Mandela ezisho yena siqu. If I may quote, when you are at the top, be careful of the monster called pride. Pride will make you look down on the people who haven't attained your level of success. When you are at the bottom, be careful of the monster called bitterness. Bitterness will make you jealous and think that other people are the reasons you haven't made it. When you are on your way to the top, be careful of the monster called greedy. Greed will make you impatient and make you steal or seek shortcuts. So ngalawo mazwi kumele ngempela iprogram enje sithathe serious. Uma sikhuluma ngeFreedom sikhuluma ngoDr Nelson Mandela. And it's a surprise ke uma ukuthi i-party ruling party uMandela was a former president yakhona, but bahlulwa ukwenza nje into izibonwe omzala. Asibonge somlomo siyayisupport item.
Thank you, Bob Kwala. Madlala.
No, sibeka kakhulu la naseqembini likamntwana akaphinde angene ukuthi lisupport siyazi ukuthi babe nomntwana babe naye uDr Mandela lapha eFort besafunda umntwana eseyilunga eliqavile lika African National Congress Youth League, so siyabonga ukuthi bakhuphule ekhaya ebese
Kunjalo hlobo.
yeah, ebese ngingena kule yale Mandela Day. Cha, usuku lukaMandela ufanele licelebrate futhi lulungiselelwe izwe lonke. Kodwa lokhu esikhuluma ngako la imizamo nje yabasebenzi abakandaba zabantu abahlangana ngaphansi kwe-manager zabo. Sibonge kakhulu uDCM Makhathini kanjalo ne-team yakhe omfundo Manqele nabanye abahlangana bavumelana ukuthi uma kuzoba iMandela Day abaye kwabanye abasebenzi bakamasipala bomkhandlu weTheku baqoqe izimali zokuthenga ukudla, ukuthenga izinsiza ezifana nezinto okuxubha kanjalo nezinto zokuyisiza zabesifazane ukuze kuthi ngelanga likaMandela bese beyahamba bayobheka imindeni ehlwempu ezokwazi ukuthi inikezelwe lezi zinto. Sibonge kakhulu kwi-leadership ye-COVID yaka governance ukhansela uMathabi Shanke nokhansela uThabisile ngoZungu ukuthi bakwazi ukuthi bawulide lo mkhankaso this time baye emawadini ahlukahlukene ngicabanga ukuthi mathathu if not 4 la khona bebenikezela khona ngempahla zokugqoka, ukudla, ama-toiletries nama-sanitary towels kubantu abahlwempu egameni likaMandela on behalf of abasebenzi bakamasipala weTheku abahlanganise imali zabo ngaphandle kokuthatha imali zabakhokhi bentela. Siyabonga kakhulu leyo mzamo leyo. Siyafisa ukuthi ngangcwetha amakhansela omkhandlu weTheku nawo ayafunda abe neyawo initiative efana nale. Siyawuseka kakhulu lo mzamo njengombutho kaKhongolose. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Councilor Madlala. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Speaker,
there's a...
My apologies.
Yes.
Yes. I'm actually ngisebhanoyini njengamanje ngizonqamuka isikhashana ngiyacela ukuthi la khona bekubhalwe khona igama lami kuyona yonke indawo khona ikhansela abalihlelile abakaKhongolose elizothatha over ngibe ne-immediate engingakwazanga ukuhlehlela emuva kuyona. Ngiyabonga baba speaker.
Siyabonga kakhulu baba
We policy conference akuna emergency.
Thank you. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed? 1.5?
No, Speaker. Freedom Front against.
Agreed.
Grade 2.
Agreed.
Right, I can see something that happened in the last item where the Freedom Front is against the item, but I don't want to assume this time that is only Freedom Front who does not support the item. But let me get an indication, party leaders. Anyone who is against the item, the Freedom Front is on record.
Awu, kanti ayikapheli yini lento madoda phakathi kwalaba nomnumzane Mandela. Wenzeni ngempela?
Yeah, thank you very much, councillors. It looked like it's only Freedom Front who's not supporting the item. Therefore, the item will go through with the majority votes. Please, Secretariat, let's record that. City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. Item 2 is the report of the Community Services Committee meeting held on the 14th of July 2022. 2.1, request for approval to reprioritize the 2021-22 capital budget to release payments to the PRC unit service providers. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Mguni. I've got Councillor Pillay, Councillor Mkize, Councillor Kwala, and Councillor Vusimgati. In that order, please, Councillor Pillay.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the TA for giving me the 1 minute of speaking time.
No,
Mr.
Pillay. Oh, okay. I do get an indication that there was an email. You have that minute. Thank you.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is unacceptable for the Parks Department to sacrifice important key capital projects, citing budgetary constraints as a reason to fund service providers. This unfortunately speaks volumes about how the Parks Department does their budgeting. Mr. Speaker, the DLC cannot accept the reasons given by Parks Department. In fact, taking funds from the project of Arena Park and other projects to pay certain service providers is not on. Provisions of a budget that these service providers should have been done effectively during the budgeting processes. The DLC does not believe that the upgrade of the Natural Science Museum for aircons of 1.3 million rand only came up at short notice. The Parks and Recreation Department must not mislead this House. Mr. Speaker, it is not surprising that this department have proven over the past many years that the service delivery is at its lowest in terms of grass cutting and keeping our city beautiful. The DLC have frequently raised the issues of how departments do their annual budgeting. The annual budget have always been prone to fiscal dumping, and this item is a classic example. Mr. Speaker, whilst the DLC does not have any issues with funding service providers for work they have done, we have an issue with the manner in which the Parks Department conduct themselves in matters of budgeting and poor service delivery. The DLC will be abstaining on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Pillay. Councillor Mkize. Councillor Mkize, you're unmuted. Councillor Kwala. We'll come back to Mkize later.
Asibonga Somlomo.
Yes, Kwala.
I-item siyayisupporta Somlomo. Kodwa ke sinama concerns. Mhlambe la sidinga ngicorrecte khona. Njengaku page 28 u column 1 kwesikhuluma ngokwamashu G pool. Iyasiconfuse ke masothi umashu G pool sithi ward 40 ngoba lapha kuse ward 104. So kunento eziningi esicabanga ukuthi ngokwama ward we need to name ngendlela eyiyona ngoba umsebenzi lo kahulumeni okumele ngempela suqikelele. Bese mhlambe futhi umuntu edideke kancane lapha mhlambe clarity mhlambe somlomo ku page 29 la esikhuluma khona ngodokotela OR Tambo nangodokotela uNelson Mandela. As understand ukuthi is it a project name or mhlambe ngabe kukhulunywa ngestage ayiyenzi ilokhuzana ephelele umqondo ophelele. Kodwa yona i-item we agree upon. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you. I can confirm to you, Babukwa, that they are referring to a statue. Thank you very much, Babukwa. Councillor Mkhize, I'm sure now you are sorted.
As EFF, we support this item, and we will make sure that we will do site visits to observe if this is implemented accordingly. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Kabazela. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed? Oh, sorry.
No,
sorry.
Chair.
Sorry, the last speaker here, Ngati. Apologies, Ngati. I recognize you, but I proceeded without giving you an opportunity to speak. Councillor Ngati, please raise your hand so that we can unmute you. Yeah, Councillor Mngati, you can speak now.
Thank you, Speaker. Siyabonga kakhulu kuma political parties that are supporting this item because la sikhuluma ngama projects that are almost 100% done. So into ebesicela nje la as the committee ukuthi si release lezi mali so that lama projects ezobonakala sizowaqedela abe 100% complete. So ukuze umasipala weTheku uzobonakala ukuthi mawuqala iproject uyayiqala uzoyiqeda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mngati. Already I have an indication that there are councillors who are not in support of the item. Please let me have the screen so that we quickly conclude the item. Let me get an indication, those who are for, against, and those who abstain. ANC. ANC.
4.
Thank you. DA.
Abstain, Chair.
EFF.
4.
IFP.
Support.
Thank you. Action SA.
In support, Speaker.
APC.
PC support, Speaker.
ACC.
Abstain, Speaker.
ACTB.
Abstain.
AIC. DHC.
DLC abstains, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
APF. HEM. Achama.
Aljama supports.
JEP.
Four.
Thank you. KZNI.
KZNI, support.
MF. MF. NFP.
NFP support, Speaker.
Thank you. PFP.
PFP support, Speaker.
PRM.
PRM support, Baba.
Siyabonga. TA.
TA support.
Thank you. Freedom Front Plus.
Abstain, Speaker.
UIM abstain.
Thank you. UIM abstain.
Yeah.
Freedom Front Plus also abstains.
APF support, Speaker. ATM support.
AIC. Councillor Mohammed, please lower your hand. AIC. There's no response.
AIC support, Speaker.
Thank you. AF support. Yeah. MF.
Supports.
Thank you. Thank you. And those who are in support, 134. There was none who are against and 60. Those who have abstained. Therefore, the item is being carried through. Thank you very much, City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. Item 2.2, request for approval to adjust the 2021-2022 Mechanical Services and Storage Department budget within the Parks, Recreation and Culture Unit to meet contractual obligations. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
No, Chair, the TA abstains.
TA abstains. Thank you. Let me have the screen. Let me correct an indication, councillors. ANC 2.2, page 29. ANC. DA is abstaining. EFF.
Agree, Speaker.
Thank you.
Agree,
IFP.
Speaker.
We are
IFP.
for.
IFP is for.
We are for.
Thank you. Action SA.
For.
APC.
Baba, you.
Asikbambile bokubheka sizwe ukuthi uya for. APC. ACC.
Support.
ACTP.
Support.
But ACTP, let's just stop there. Let's not proceed. I've observed that ever since we've started our meeting, you are in an environment that whenever you are speaking, you are disrupting council. There's noise where you are. I just want to remind you that at the opening of our meeting, we made a request to all councillors that the environment that we are using to connect to this meeting should not be an environment that will cause disruption when you are given an opportunity to speak. Ever since we've started, whenever your mic is open, there is noise in your background. Please refrain from doing that. Otherwise, you'll force us to remove you from the meeting. Thank you. AIC?
AIC support speaker.
Thank you. ACC? No, it's TLC.
DLC abstains, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. APF?
Support, Speaker.
Thank you. HCM?
For, Speaker, for.
Achama?
Al-Jama supports Speaker.
JEP?
JEP, support Speaker.
KZNI?
KZNI support Speaker.
MF? Councillor Maharaj, it looks like is no longer part of the meeting. She has been participating, but after the break, she is not responding. MF? NFP?
NFP support speaker.
PFP?
PFP support Speaker.
PRM? PRM?
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. PRM is in support.
Thank you. TA?
TA is in support.
UIM?
UIM support.
Freedom Blood?
Freedom Front Plus in support.
In support. Thank you.
APC support, Slalo.
Support. ANC. ANC. Laba abakhombisana ngamarobhothi sikwi-council meeting. Usho ukuthi nje niyangikhombisa ukuthi nidlala ngami la nikho emhlanganweni. ANC?
Support.
Thank you.
Support.
Siyabonga. Can I get the ANC being organized, please, in a meeting? When I ask you to respond, please be quick. You are taking time to respond, please, colleagues. All whips, when we are asking you to respond, please be quick. Let's add the numbers. Councillor Maharaj, I suspect we are no longer part of the meeting. MF? Yeah, ngaphendula. All right, thank you very much. Those who are in support of the item 139, those who are against, none. Those who abstain, 5-4. Therefore, the item is being carried through. Thank you very much, City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. 2.3, request for approval to implement various programs within the PRC unit in the 2022-23 financial year. Committee recommends.
Thank you. Well, 2.3. Let's just pay date. Councillor Webster, Councillor Ngomalo, and Councillor B. A. Ndlovu. In that order. Please raise your hands so that the team assists you to unmute the site. Then you have to unmute yourself and speak. Councillor Webster, you are the first on the item. Yeah, you unmuted the site, Councillor Webster.
Thank you, Speaker. The devastating impact of the recent KZN floods remains evident to date. A stark reminder of these floods, which left 7,286 homes totally destroyed, 12,062 homes partially destroyed, 445 lives lost, with many others unaccounted for, is the shameful fact that only 108 temporary homes have been built for flood victims to date. Many flood victims have had to seek refuge in the homes of friends and families. However, many others remain sheltered in community halls under appalling conditions with no sense of privacy, stripped of their dignity. It is in these community halls that some adults have been engaging in sexual activities late at night after assuming that children and fellow adults were asleep. The sense of hopelessness has led to a rise in alcohol abuse in their attempt to drown their sorrows. It would be deemed heartless of us, the so-called custodians of our residents' well-being, to sit here today and agree on giving priority to a cost-spinning event, even going as far as injecting 300,000 into this activity, while it could be utilized to assist in restoring the dignity instead of our people. Cost-spinning is a hobby, while a flood is a catastrophe. In as much as the EFF does support worthy programs such as the Women Empowerment Program mentioned here, the Heritage and Culture Program, as well as the PRC Week, we, being unashamedly pro-poor, cannot stand by and watch a cost-spinning program being given financial light of day amidst the aftermath of such a massive catastrophe. We therefore totally oppose the cost-spinning program while supporting this item. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Cousin Lumalo. Please unmute yourself. Raise your hand, Cousin Lumalo, so that we can see you the site and unmute you.
His hand is up.
Yeah, I know you can see, yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, Councillor, you are audible now.
Thank you very much. As IFP, we like to support this program, but more especially the one of Durban Spinfest. As IFP, we like to support Durban Spinfest and thank the eThekwini municipality for giving support to our Kasi talent, which for years have been labeled as a habit of criminalism. As much as these sports have no facilities which is accommodating them, like all other sports. But we hope our municipality will initially look at this as we see in other provinces, including Cape Town, where they have started to promote the sport in school, but with great disappointment that they did not support it. We wonder why they never wish to see Durban being successfully and supporting what assists our community from being exposed to criminalism, drugs, early unwanted pregnancy. This sport put food on the table for some families and assist those kids who are slow learners to improve. This is professional sport done by people who spend most of their time training, and some of them are males and females who put food on the table for their families. If this was Formula One, some people were going to vote for it, but it is a pity. This sport is multiracial and it talks to all races. And we hope fully the citizens of eThekwini who support this sport, we see when they vote and they will vote accordingly. We thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ngomalo.
Ngiyabonga mntana.
Oh, kwaHlenbo.
Kodwa umtshado.
Councillor Ndlovu. Ndlovu.
Sibonga somlomo. Okokuqala nje mhlambe somlomo sifisa ukuveza ukuthi ikomiti la community service akuyona imandate yalo kwakhe izindlu. Having said that, we note as ikomiti la community service ukuthi kube ne-budget cut eyenziwe enhlelweni ebesinazo ngoba kufanele sonke siqonde nje futhi sibambe iqhaza ekutheni kulekeleleke imindeni nabantu abathinteka ngesikhathi seyikhukhula. So kunemali ecishe ibalelwe ku-50 million eyi-budget cut enciphisiwe ey'nhlelweni zethu. Savuma ngoba kuyingxenye yokuzwelana nabantu baseThekwini. Sifisa-ke ukusho ukuthi Somlomo siyi-ANC siyayisapotha lolu hlelo lokuthi ibe khona imigubho ebisiyenzekalile njengoba kade kuJulayi ye-Mandela Day, kube khona inyanga yomama nenyanga yamagugu. Le report ifake imigubho yey'nyanga ezintathu ngoba kubalulekile ukuba singazikhohlwa la siphuma khona futhi siyigqaje ngamagugu ethu. Ngiyafisa-ke ukusho ukuthi ngala mazwi siyi-ANC siyalisapotha zonke lezi nhlelo ey'hleliwe. Siyaqonda-ke ukuthi kukhona ukuthi abantu uma bekhuluma bafise kube khona okungenzeka okungcono, kodwa thina njengaleli komiti senza imandate yethu, akulona ikomiti kuphela elikhona emkhandlwini, akhona namanye nawo aney'nhlelo zawo. So ingako njalo uma sisolo siqhamuka ney'nhlelo ey'thinta imandate yethu. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ndlovu. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
No.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I hear there's someone who's saying no.
Yes, the DA will vote against this item, Chairperson.
Okay, thank you.
JP agrees.
Thank you. Let me do the same thing that I've done before to save time. Is there any other political party that supports the view of a DA of not supporting the item, or is only DA? If it's only DA, to be recorded as such. I don't see any hand. Thank you very much. The item is being carried through. Please record that the DA is voting against the item. City Manager.
(2.4) Request to approve the Committee Participation and Action Support Unit Business Plan 2022-2023. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Mngoni. 2.4, we have Councillor S. Mngadi from DA. Then we have Councillor N. Hlomuga. Please raise your hands, councillors. You'll be unmuted this side, then you unmute yourself and speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, from the start of the Democratic Alliance, we wish to express what is, I guess, great concern. Now, the idea of community participation is good. I think taking people along with you in the decisions that you make as a government is very important, and making people feel involved by the transfer of information is very important. And so that is inherently something as a Democratic Alliance we would support. But Speaker, the reality is that community participation does a lot of things, and a lot of those things aren't in the ethos of what it is meant to achieve, which is the transfer of communication and taking people along with us in the decisions we make in this council. And so, Speaker, what we can't support is essentially a retirement home for ANC councillors who have no place or nothing to do outside of their council term, and the highly politicized nature of community participation. I don't think there's a single opposition councillor, and I'm a ward councillor, Speaker, that can disagree rather with the notion that community participation actively politicizes events. It actively campaigns on a political level when it should be a political structure primarily used to further, municipal business and information within the community sector. And so, Speaker, for all these reasons, and the fact that you are asking us to support a budget of 242 million rand, of which about 150 million is going to be used for programs that there is no clarity on. In the committee, I am aware that the business plan surrounding this entire expenditure arrived late, and that it can't have been possible to have, on a level of accurate and detailed attention, investigated each and every single proposal for this expenditure. And so already, Speaker, We can speak to the past and say, you know what, we aren't happy that in the past community participation has highly politicized their mandate and essentially campaigned for the ANC when they were supposed to be an apolitical space. We can put that aside, but in this specific, item where they ask us to support a budget, there's already a sense of, disillusionment and the inability to take us along with them in the decisions that they make by merely producing a business plan on time so we can accurately reflect on what they want to do and going forward, maybe even support that. So already, Speaker, we have a unit here asking for an exorbitant amount of money with a history of politicizing their agenda and deploying ANC ex-cadres into positions to further campaign for the ANC. And as a Democratic Alliance, and I'm hoping as an opposition bloc in the city, absolutely something we can't support. And so until community participation sort of gets their act in order, we might one day consider supporting them. But for all intents and purposes, in this council for this item, the DA votes against. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mngadi. Councillor Shlomuga. Yes, please raise your hand. You'll be unmuted.
My hand is up.
Yeah, you are audible. You can speak now. Yes, Wagada Councillor Nkube. Yeah, Councillor Shlomuga, you are muted this side. Awuzame ngalapho ukuthi uvule imic. Ngoba ukakhuluma azwakala.
Speaker.
Yes, yazwakala qhubeka.
Speaker.
Yes.
Hlasimpe ngithi speaker ake ngichaze ukuthi kusha-ke lokho esikuzwayo ngokholiki wethu ukuthi kanti participation upoliticize. Kodwa-ke thina mhlampe njengokomiti nenhlangano kakhongolose namanye ama-parties ebesenawo ekomitini savumelana ngo-elethu ukuthi siyamukela i-business plan yaka-participation njengoba injalo ngoba sibuka i-mandate yabo ikakhulukazi isiza thina as umkhandlu ukuthi sisondele phansi kubantu njengoba sikuthiwa ama-local government ithina uhulumeni wokubantu kakhulu. So u-community participation udlala ingxenye enkulu ukuthi ulethe umkhandlu kubantu. So siyacabanga ukuthi-ke mhlampe okholiki bethu mangase ba-understand ukuthi bathinta bani ka-community participation mangabe bedinga ukulekeleleka. That mean otherwise mhlampe nama-meeting omphakathi ukuthi abawabizi ngoba participation phela lo osuke usilekelela ukubiza ama-meeting omphakathi. U-participation osiza wonke ama-department ikakhulukazi akhona emkhandlwini uma ngabe befuna usizo lokulekelela about immobilization.
Siyabonga, Councillor.
Nokunye.
Oh, I think you're breaking. Councillor Shlomuga, I have yes.
Yes, mama. So ngalokho-ke ende siyamukela bese siyacela kwi-council iyonke ukuthi uma ngabe sekwenziwa i-budget ngoba siyabona ukuthi imali esayiphasisa siyiphathisela community participation iyagcina ihavuliwe and siyayibuka ukuthi umsebenzi omkhulu abawenzayo ngeke uze uyiqede i-financial year. Siyacela ukuthi i-council ikunote lokho ukuthi bese kwenziwa ama-budget adjustment wenze sure ukuthi u-participation uyazama ukuthi ubhekelele ukuthi ulelekela kanjani ukuze siqhubeke nemandate esinikwe umphakathi waseThekwini. Ngiyabonga Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Shlomuga. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
No.
Agreed.
EFF abstain, Speaker.
Thank you. Who's abstaining?
It's the EFF.
Speaker, the DA votes against.
Okay, thank you. Let me have the screen, please. A whip of parties or party leaders Please prepare yourself. Let's save time. ANC.
Agreed.
ANC, I agree, Speaker.
Thank you. DA.
We are voting against the chairperson.
Thank you. EFF.
We abstain, Speaker.
IFP.
We are for.
Action SA.
We are for, Speaker.
APC.
Independent.
ABC support.
Siyabonga. ACC.
We support. Thank you, Speaker.
ACTP.
ACDP support, Speaker.
Thank you. AIC. AIC. DLC.
DLC supports, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. APF.
APF agrees.
ATM.
Support.
Achama.
Aljama supports, Chair.
JEP.
JEP support.
KZNI.
KZN, I support.
MF.
Support.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I thought Maharaj, you have left the meeting. Thank you, thank you.
No, Chair, no, Speaker, I never left the meeting.
Okay,
I
thank
had
you.
problems connecting.
Thank you, Councillor. Most are not here. NFP? NFP?
NFP support, Speaker.
Thank you. PFP?
PFP support, Speaker.
PRM? PRM? CA?
MPRM iya yenze njani then?
Bomnikazi sudlala ngathi wena. Vote.
Sekunaso speaker ngazi ukuthi yenze njani lento yami. iPRM iya support baba.
Siyabonga
Sorry.
bomnikazi. TA?
Thank you.
TA support.
Siyabonga. TA? UIM?
UIM abstain.
Abstain. Freedom Front?
We also abstain, Speaker.
Thank you. We all voted? AIC, you have not voted? Basakhona abomnikazi wena wazobathola kalula. AIC? Yeah, there's no response from AIC. Let's add the numbers, Secretariat. Siyabonga. Those who are in support of the item, 116. Those who are against, 53. Those who abstain, 24. Therefore, the item on page 32, 2.4 is being carried through. Thank you, City Manager.
Item 3, Direct Exco Reports 3.1, Request for approval of the reviewed enterprise risk management policy and framework. Committee recommends.
Councillors, please lower your hands, those who, yeah, thank you. Item 3. Is the recommendation agreed, councillors?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager. Councillors, we are done with the council agenda. Now we'll move to the first supplementary agenda. I hope we have we've got the agenda. We are moving to the first supplementary agenda before we deal with the last supplementary agenda. The Deputy Mayor, Councillor Mavundla, I will request you to table the executive report. Thank you.
Sibonge somlomo. Sicela ukuthebula i-report yesibili. Uyisela kwena Sihlalo.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Mavundla, City Manager.
Item 1, report of the Human Settlements and Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 15th of July 2022. 1.1, noting of the contract extension in terms of section 1163 of the MFMA 2003, contract number 111-40728, professional engineering services for low-cost housing project at Kennedy Road, and approval of related additional contract authority. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Noted.
Noted. It's for noting. Thank you, City Manager.
One point 2, report on Human Settlements Unit 2022-2023 capital budget. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Noted.
Page 5, 1.2 is noted. Thank you, City Manager.
1.3, reallocation of funds across the electricity unit capital projects. Committee recommends.
Councillors, 1.3 is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Manager.
1.4, request for authority to transfer funds within the water operations budget in the 2021-22 financial year for the provision of armed escort guard services. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Mngoni. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
1.5, request for authority to transfer funds within water operations budget in the 2021-22 financial year for the higher water tankers. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Councillor Nkosi, you are a speaker. Councillor Eskomete, Councillor Mkhize, Councillor Kulu, then Councillor Mavundla. Nkosi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Firstly, Honorable Speaker, we welcome the report. It's one of the very important reports. We cannot just ignore the issue of insufficient water after floods. However, we wanted to submit as IFP that we are not happy the way the distribution of water tankers is being done, because it's like it's being used as a political tool. Some of the areas does not get the number that other areas they do. You start, whether you start in South, in Umkomazi, you go up to Utongati, it's the same cry. So until this program is being centralized and be coordinated properly, I think we'll be then have a situation whereby everyone will get water. I wanted also to encourage the council that we need to ensure that we buy our own water tankers rather than putting more money trying to get these water tankers from the external people. But also the report of council whereby we are investigating our own tankers that we bought but that are not being used. As IFP, we are looking forward to get that report because we feel very strong that we are misusing council funds if we buy water tankers, but they are also parked there, yet people that does not have water in different wards. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Nkosi. Councillor Eskumete.
Thank you, Speaker. The ACDP notes the municipality intends to spend 15 million toward water tankers. Wesley, the municipal is focusing on short-term initiatives. The ACDP calls on this municipality to prioritize a mass-needed focus on upgrading and efficient maintenance on the infrastructure. Furthermore, the ACDP calls on this municipality to invest capital on ensuring our people, especially in the rural areas, e.g., Siajabula Abandoned Children Home, at Molweni, received water into their facilities rather than via tankers. Let's keep to our promises to ensure that every household has basic services. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kumete. Councillor Mkize, S. Mkize. Councillor S. Mkize, please raise your hand. Councillor Chi V. Ulu, you will be the next after Mkize. Raise your hand so that you are unmuted. Then the Deputy Mayor will be the last. Ulu, if you are ready, you can speak. Councillor Mkize. Yes, you can speak now. You are unmuted.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Somlom.
Yebo.
Thank you very much, Somlom. Somlom ngithi angixolise okwamanje ngicela ukudisrupta i-meeting for now ngizo-indicator mase ngisendaweni e-right ngikwazi ukuthi ngikhulume. Thank you.
Thank you.
But I think azokwazi ukungikhava because umavundla uzolandela ngemuva kwami.
Thank you, Councillor Olu. No response. Deputy Mayor, you're the last. Councillor Mavunda, we are trying to see you. Please raise your hand so that you are unmuted.
Yebo, sengiyight Somlomo.
Yes, you can speak.
Thank you, Somlomo. Somlomo, the issue of the water tankers is a serious issue. I think the councillor needs to take note of that. As it stands right now, we're only talking 15 million rand. The problem is that following the floods, we're finding ourselves having to use the water tankers in areas, in actual fact, that are already serviced, and this is putting constraint on us. So this 15 million is just for that for now. We do understand that we do have our new trucks that will be coming by end of the year that will reduce the constraint. Unfortunately, trucks is not something that you can just go to the dealers and buy it. It has to be made. With the wars that are happening and all the problem COVID that has been around, there are some problems in as far as the spares and parts and all that is concerned. For now, we just need this money so we can get the water to the people. With this, it will take us somewhere. But very soon, Babu Speaker, we must say we may come back begging for more because, for instance, in Otongata alone, to keep the community with water, the first month that we've been running the water tankers there, it has costed us around 15 million rand just in 1 month. So basically, we need this so we can keep going and supply water to our people. Thank you, Babu Speaker.
Yeah, thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. City Manager.
Agreed.
1.6, request for authority for the real estate unit to acquire land to register a servitude for project number Y816, North Day Pump Station, and raising main replacement. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Mgoni. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed.
City Manager.
1.7, implementation of roads and stormwater rehabilitation projects through funds provided by Finance Cluster arising from the municipal-wide capital budget reprioritization. Committee recommends.
Siyabonga Mngoni. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Mngoni.
1.8, authority to request real estate to acquire servitude for clear water rising main for project X6307 or Kunjini water treatment works upgrade from 1 ml per day to 2 ml per day. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, City Manager. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you.
We need water.
Agreed.
City Manager.
1.9, request for authority to transfer funds from savings identified in water and sanitation unit capital budget to fund the wastewater networks storm damage work and assessment by consultants WS 2022-136. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Mngoni. Councillor Mtetwa, you are the speaker. Then Councillor Mavundla, you'll follow after. Councillor Mtetwa.
No, Chair, I withdraw my name. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mavundla.
Somlomo ngiyabonga kubukeka konke kuhamba ngendlela. I'm covered. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. City Manager.
Chair, the DA will abstain. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone who is going to abstain or not in support so that we save time instead of asking each and every political party? We have done this before, it saved time. Anyone except DA? It's only DA that is abstaining. Therefore, the item is being supported by the majority, but let's record that the DA is abstaining. City Manager?
1.10, extension of Zibambele Poverty Alleviation Program. Committee recommends.
Speaker.
Yes.
Speaker, my apologies. The 1.9 we support. We abstaining on 1.10. We support 1.9.
Okay. Okay, so 1.9.
Speaker, I had my hand up before Nyambos.
Deputy Mayor, you want to speak? No,
I had my hand up before Nyambos. Yes, I wanted to speak.
Yeah, you are noted, Deputy Mayor, on page 13, 1.10. But Nyambos raised his hand because they wanted to correct on page 12, 1.9. He said they were abstaining, but now he's saying they are in support. They are only abstaining in 1.10.
Speaker, I wanted exactly that point on 1.9 to say to Mtetwa, if he doesn't support us fixing the storm damage network, that will mean we must then not take it to his word.
No,
Ngiyabonga kodwa ngoba usewithdrawile.
he's in support. Ungamsabisi, Deputy
Thank you.
Mayor.
Cha ngiyesaba ngoba phela siyasebenza speaker kodwa uma
No,
sizophinde sithi service delivery singayenzi. We get worried thina
don't
esisebenzayo.
intimidate council members, Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Ngiyamthanda uNyambosa kodwa methi ngayisi service delivery.
Right, DA is in support of 1.9, page 12, let's correct that. But we are now on page 13, item 1.10. Ubaba Umthetho said that they are abstaining on this item, but I've got Councillor Ngomalo, I've got Councillor Isop, then Sisoga, Ngongo, and Mavundla. Ngomalo? Ilenga lishonile manje nganibizi kanti anisekho emhlanganweni. Kazi Ngomalo? Please raise your hand so that we unmute you this side. Yeah, you are now unmuted. Yeah, ngiyabona, yes. Sesim unmute ngapha. Ngomalo? Kazi Ngomalo, you are unmuted this side.
Yini manje Twisle? Ngiyabonga Somlomo angixolise ngokudelaya technology buyizenze lokwayo. Cha sithokoza kakhulu njengeqembu inkatha yenkululeko yesizwe. Impela nathi sithi ay extendwe impela lokhu kusebenza kwalabantu bakwa EPWP ngoba qiniso lithi njengoba nje sibone kube kade kukhona ama floods mhlawumbe ingabe awazange azabe makhulu kangaka azange aze bekulesimo ade kusona ukube kade bebamba ngempela labo zakwethu abasebenza khona beqinise beclean nakulezi indawo lezi idamkoko ngakho ke umsebenzi wabo wona uyabonakala kakhulu ukhona ubonana khona abasebenza khona kodwa nje ake beqinise nje kakhulu kulezo indawo lezo kule idamkokweni ukuze imvula mayifika izokwazi ukuthi ithola indlela yokudlula kulezi indawo lezi lapho ugcine khona sekunenhlabathi siyazi ukuthi amaphara agcine lezi indawo lezi ayiphendula owardrobe babo ngakho ke sicela ukuthi ke labo zakwethu ke abasebenza abawe PWP besilekele kulezo indawo zamaphara seyiphenduke owardrobe ukuthi besikhiphele lezi zinto lezi ukuze amanzi mayefika njengoba sekuzongena nehlobo nje amanzi mayefika akwazi ukuthi adlule kahle kulezi idamkoko ngakho ke si IFP siyakusupporta ukwelulwa kwenkontraka yabo sithokoza kakhulu.
Siyabonga Zwide, Councillor Isop. Councillor Isop, please raise your hand so that the team will unmute you this side. Councillor Isop, it looked like you are not giving us an indication so that we assist you. Councillor Soga, Councillor Ngongo, then Deputy Mayor, the last Soga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Speaker, I think uKhansela uZwide Kalanga weqembu lomntwana waphinda angene useshayile kwezwakala. Nami I echo his sentiments that in as much as we had anticipated ukuthi by this time we would have boarded new EPWP members on this program. However, nature happened and one cannot control nature. So now we are faced with a situation whereby we are forced, because of the need on the ground, to allow the contracts to continue up until December, while the EPWP members are trying to assist the city to clean the damages that were left by the floods. And we do anticipate that by come December, we will be in a position to then board new members. But for now, we do support the extension up until December as African National Congress. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I see a hand from Councillor Kambule. Councillor Kambule, you want to say something?
Sibonge Speaker. Njenge EFF nathi sithi asivele silusupporte lolu hlelo. Lolu hlelo
Kahleke Kambule, awuveli la, uyasubmit igama kwi-item ozokhuluma. Awuveli uvele nje.
and sihlalo sikhuluma supplementary agenda somlomo efike late kuthini. So ingako sinxusa nathi ukuthi sibe nezwi njengeqembu le-EFF. Siyacela somlomo.
Okay, asenze kanjena-ke ngoba uyacela asidedele ungcongo ngoba besimnothile ekhuluma emveni kwakhe-ke sizongibhijisa. Ngcongo. Councillor S. Ngcongo. Ngena-ke Councillor Khambule.
Sibonga ithuba Speaker. Sithi njenge-EFF nathi lolu hlelo siyalithanda kakhulu and siyalisupport because liyabonakala iqhaza elidlalayo ekuthena abantu bakithi bakwazi ukuthi ngaloko okuncane okuvela kulona bakwazi ukuqosha ikati eziko. Kodwa ke si-worried Speaker ngezinombolo zabantu ekuthiwa basebenza la kulolu hlelo. Siyafisa njenge-EFF ukuthi sike senze i-audit kucheckeke kahle ukuze sizoba sinesiqiniseko sokuthi labantu ngempela ekuthiwa bakhona kulolu hlelo abantu abakhona ngempela kungathiwa kukhona abantu kanti abekho. So siyalisupport lolu hlelo siyafisa ukuthi liqhubeke. Siyabonga Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kambule. Deputy Mayor, you are the last.
Ngibonge Somlomo. Somlomo ngicela ukuqala ngokuthi ngi-extende ukuba available kwi-information lecelwa ukhansela okhambula ukuthi bangaki labantu bakephi laba allocated khona nokuthi obani ababa-supervisor on a daily basis. That is very much available. Second, Somlomo, uma ngabe suhulumeni okhathazeka ngabantu bakhe, asikwazi ukuthi sibekwe kwi-position of responsibility bese sikubotha kufake kube lula nje sithi abantu asiyinaki indaba ukuthi bathole okuncane kokumaya okuya eziko. Lolu hlelo luyasiza lisiza laba abangakwazi ukuyisiza bona ikakhulukazi. Nakho phela nemisebenzi ayikho eSouth Africa. Nongqiwa sebathatha izinto zabo bahamba nazo baphindela nazo emakubo. Ngakho-ke sithi lolu hlelo njenge-ABC siyalithanda luhle kufanele liqhubekile futhi masingahle sense Somlomo ukuthi ngoJanuary inombolo lezi siyiphinde noma ikabili. Siyabonga Somlomo.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
Agreed. Chair, the DA will abstain, and I'm sure it's, the DA will abstain.
Active DA is abstaining. Is there anyone? Okay, only DA. Let's record that. Thank you, City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. 1.11, Social Enterprise Cooperative Development Program as exit strategy to the current Zibambele Poverty Alleviation Program. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, City Manager, Mr. Councillor Kuzwayo. You are in my list. Z. Kuzwayo. Please, Councillor Kuzwayo, raise your hand. The team will assist you with the site by unmuting your mic. Then you will unmute yourself and address Council. Yes, Councillor Kuzwayo, you can speak now.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Greetings are in order again, Mr. Speaker. Somlomo, please note that this item was withdrawn at the committee And in the previous council, it was deferred. We understand because it was a pain kwabanye bebedla amantshontsho ngalolu hlelo. Somlomo, please note that the DA welcomed the item and we have been fighting for the ghost employees on this program. One will wonder why this one will wonder why not this previous one, because the ducks are not in the row in the previous one. That is why we are not supporting it. We understand that the program is aimed at helping the poor people. That is why we feel it is important. However, it has been the center of stealing the ratepayers' money by a well-known corrupted movement. Mr. Speaker, sir, we are also inviting you as the chairperson of this council to make sure that our voices are noted every time we speak, because we mean business of service delivery. This will assist this council to do better. When we do better, the relevant beneficiaries will benefit, not political affiliated individuals. Now, it is worse because this poverty alleviation program are being used to fight factionalism battles. The decreased number of 7,300 to 5,000 beneficiaries we welcome. However, we have less than 2,300 beneficiaries affected. Where is the rest? Well done to the officials for this step. And also, I would like to congratulate the DA for fighting for good governance. It is good that the municipality will be saving more than 34 million rand that was strategically being appropriated by political connected individuals. Mr. Speaker, I pause. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ngongo, are you still available? Thank you. Councillors, is the recommendation on page 14, 1.11 agreed?
Agree.
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. We move to the second report of the Finance, Security and Emergency Services Committee, meeting held on the 20th of July 2022. 2.1, request for approval of the eThekwini Municipality Fire Safety Bylaw 2022. Committee recommends.
Yeah, thank you very much. There is Councillor Maharaj, Councillor Pillay, Councillor Webster. No, I can't see the name, but it's a DA councillor. Then Councillor Nobabadom Tembu Zondi. In that order, page 16, item 2.1.
Chair. Speaker.
Yes, you are audible.
I propose that this item be deferred.
You propose
Can
that.
I speak? Yes.
Yes, Councillor Maharaj.
Okay, Chair, Speaker, there are communities such as the Hindu communities that should be consulted before this bylaw is gazetted. This bylaw was drafted and workshopped virtually during COVID. Hence, not many relevant stakeholders such as the Hindu religions organizations were not consulted on this very important bylaw. This bylaw requires clarity and consultation to clear up misinterpretations which mar the celebration of Diwali every year. I'm not saying that the public consultation will resolve all conflict totally, but it will certainly promote transparency. Awareness campaigns after the bylaw comes into effect is an after-the-fact measure that does not promote transparency. Therefore, I'm asking that this item be deferred so that the Hindu community can be consulted on it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Councillors, there's a a proposal for the item to be deferred back to the committee. Is the proposal supported?
It's supported by Councillor Shahid, Truly Alliance.
Okay, okay. The proposal is supported. Anyone with a
No.
counter view?
We are against the deferral, EFF.
EFF is against. Okay, that's fine. Let's vote. Let's vote on the proposed deferral. Let me get the
All
screen.
the progressive forces sihlalo ayisupporta.
ANC supported.
Councillors, the Freedom Front, no, the MF is proposing that the matter be deferred back to the committee. Then they've been supported. I think it's ACC, yeah?
ACC, we support the deferment.
Yeah.
Truly in support of
Okay,
deferment.
okay. Let me just go according to the list on the screen so that we are clear in terms of our records. ANC. I heard
Against.
Council ANC is against the referral. ADA.
We do support, Chairperson.
Thank you. EFF.
We are against, Speaker.
Thank you. IFP.
Against, Speaker.
Action SA. APC.
Sihlalo thina we support.
ACC.
We support deferment.
AIC.
ACDP supports, Chair.
Thank you. I've skipped you. AIC. DLC.
DLC supports deferment, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
APF.
Against.
ATM.
ATM is against the deferment, Speaker.
Ajama.
Aljama supports the
JEP. JEP.
JP against. JP against.
KZNI. MF. MF.
I support the deferment.
Thank you. Mosa. Abeko. NFP.
NFP is against.
PFP.
PFP supports the deferment.
Thank you. PRM.
PRM against.
Thank you. TA.
TA in support.
UIM.
UIM support.
Freedom Front Plus.
Freedom Front Plus support.
Thank you. Action XA have not voted. Action SA. Yeah, they are sending a charter in
Speaker,
support. Thank you.
AIC is voting against.
KZNI not reporters is against.
KZN is against. AIC is against.
Yes.
AIC. Okay, thank you. Colleagues, let's add the numbers.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Those who are in support of the deferral is 70. Those who are against 124. There were no abstainers. Thank you very much. The item won't be deferred back to the committee. Then Councillor Maharaj, I will then give you an opportunity to speak on the substantive item. Then Councillor Pillay will follow. Councillor Pillay?
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, the primary objective and purpose of the deferment was to have a broader stakeholder engagement in terms of this bylaw, which is very critical in terms of our city. Because as you would know, for the past many years, there have been lots of criticisms in terms of the disposal of fireworks. And what was asked of a deferment was to primarily engage the religious leaders on this matter, because COVID came in, and therefore there could possibly be further engagements that will neutralize any sort of anomalies that may potentially exist in this bylaw. And it is for that reason that that the DLC supported the deferment. And be that as it may, Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that this council has not acceded to that request. It would have been a good thing, because public participation must be seen to be fully inclusive. And in this case, in respect to this bylaw, it is not. And whilst the bylaw speaks about prohibitions of fireworks and so forth in certain places and those kind of things, it does not include stakeholders who are such as religious leaders who should be engaged on this matter. The DLC will be abstaining on this matter. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Pillay. Councillor Shusenka, DA.
Thank you, Speaker. The DA welcomes this long-awaited fireworks bylaw that we have been relentlessly requesting. And although it has taken a number of years to get this bylaw to council, it is well received, and as we say, better late than never. However, any policy or bylaw implemented must be realistic and workable. We are well aware that the city's law enforcement units are overburdened and under-resourced. Therefore, the implementation of this bylaw already has its challenges. We must ensure that law enforcement units, specifically Metro Police, come down hard on the illegal sale of fireworks by informal traders and tuck shops during the periods and times stipulated on the bylaw. Will there be enough staff capacity by these units to successfully implement and enforce the law as outlined in the bylaw? Education and information on this bylaw needs to be widely distributed to the residents of eThekwini. And it is this city's responsibility that all information incorporated in the bylaw gets to the public. The previous fireworks bylaw was not enforced. We have had numerous challenges from residents, animal rights activists, with some anti-fireworks lobbying groups even calling for a complete ban on fireworks. This bylaw, however, outlines the specific restrictions with regards to the sale and storage of fireworks, but the capacity needed to enforce this bylaw is a cause for concern, noting the current human resource limitations in our emergency and security units. Thank you, Speaker. The DA supports the bylaw.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mthembu Zondi.
Speaker? Speaker?
Yes, you can speak, you are audible.
No, Speaker, I'm covered by the councillor. We are supporting the item. Yes.
Thank you very much, councillors. Is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
No.
No.
It's not agreed.
Thank you. I can I get only two no's. It's Councillor Maharaj and Councillor Pillay. Is there anyone who's against, so that we don't go as per the list to save time?
The minority
is
party
also
is
against.
against.
MF is against, DLC is against. Who's else?
Al Jama is against. Al Jama is against.
Al Jama is against.
TA
TA
is
is
against.
TA is against.
UIM against.
UIM is against.
PFP against.
You.
PFP against.
PFP is against.
As well.
Okay.
Freedom Front Plus as well.
Freedom
ACC
Front-
abstains, Speaker.
Freedom Front is against. ACC abstain. Can we check numbers, colleagues?
ACDP abstains, Speaker.
ACTP abstains. The rest are in support. Can you check? Are we safe? Eh? Yes, we were just noting those who are against. It was MF, PFP, ACC, ACTP abstain. Then Freedom Front Plus as well abstain. Bakwane Mashia. That's why I said just check.
Somlamo.
Yes.
Somlamo.
Yebo.
Ukhansela ugwala. Ngicela ukulekelela ngoba ngifuna uboshwe kusasa.
Right.
Angifuni kube khona into ekuvukela emaminithini. Bengicela Somlomo ungene kithi sonke isikhathi ngiyakunderstand kodwa ngibalekela ukuthi kusasa ungakhonjwa ngenjumbano. Ngiyabonga.
Kusho ukuthi sengisejele vele babugwala ngoba lo hlelo engilisebenzisayo livunywe yikhansela ukuthi singasebenzisa to save time. Sengiboshiwe already. Ngoba sesike savote ngale ndlela where we only getting those who are against, then those who are in support will mean that silence means consent. Let's just continue with the system because already we have started. Secretariat have to pick up those numbers. Have you recorded those parties that have indicated that they are not in support of the item? Are you done? It looks like even this system is confusing you. Okay. Let me do this so that we are all clear. What we are doing now, we are just getting an indication to political parties that they are not in support of the item. I said MF is against.
Correct.
Yes, there are 7 against. Then those who have not given me an indication, it means they're in support. To get that? Okay.
Exactly, Speaker.
Thank you. We are clear now. Now the item is supported with the majority. Can I have the number if you have added the number there? But there are only 7 who are against the item. There are 4 who have abstained, then the rest are in support. City Manager, please record the numbers down, Lapozo. No, record them. Yeah. City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. We're on 2.2. eThekwini Municipality Public Tender Awards for the month of June 2022. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
For noting.
Noted.
It's noted. Thank you. City Manager, page 17.
2.3, budget statement report for the quarter ended 30 June 2022. Committee recommends.
Thank you. Councillor Penn, you are a speaker.
Speaker.
Yes.
Both Councillor Ben and McPherson are withdrawing from this item.
Okay, both are withdrawing. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed? 2.3?
Great.
Thank you.
Agreed.
City Manager?
Noted.
For noting, yeah. City Manager?
Yeah, we are agreeing to note.
So we got to go because we are slow. City Manager?
Item 3, addendum report of the Human Settlements and Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 15th of July 2022. 3.1, request for authority to implement Section 33 of the Local Government MFMA to engage implementing agents for a period longer than 36 months to fast-track service delivery in the municipal precinct area of special focus and needs. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Great.
Thank you, City Manager.
Item 4, Direct Exco Reports. 4.1, Review of Audit and Risk Committee Charter. Committee recommends.
Item 4.1, page 20. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank
Must be
you.
audited.
Thank you, City Manager.
4.2, Addendum Report, Request for Amendment to Council Decision, Go Durban Cycling Academy and Active Mobility Program, additional grant funding secured by the Department of Forestry and Fisheries and Environmental from the KfW German Development Bank, and extension of the Memorandum of Agreement, period with Green Corridors NPC. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
For 4.3, request for approval of proposed tactical adjustment in the implementation process for the city's integrated public transport network. Committee recommends.
Councillor Mthethwa.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson. I'm sure having been in this meeting for almost 8 hours now, we are all exhausted, but equally so, we are very much exhausted with the fact that we've been discussing Go Durban for just over almost 9 years now. And to date, we don't have buses on the road. And suddenly we are told that we are losing grants because we don't have buses on the road. Whilst we believe that community participation and engaging relevant stakeholders is important for us as the city, but we believe as a DA that we have overcommitted ourselves, we have over-negotiated. It got to a point where the so-called stakeholders seem to believe that they own this project. I must remind you, colleagues, that this project belongs to the people of eThekwini, especially the poor people of eThekwini who urgently need this service of Go Durban. It cannot then be, Mr. Speaker, that people of eThekwini and this council are held to ransom by individual business people who seem to think that this whole project, funded by the monies of the taxpayers and ratepayers of eThekwini, belongs to them. It's either they accept what we offer them as the city or they get nothing. So our position as eThekwini is that if they don't accept the percentage offered to them, we must take control of 100% of fleet ownership and make sure that these buses are on the road and make sure that we don't lose any grants that we seem to be losing at the moment just because we don't have buses on the road. So it's up to them. Let's throw the ball in their court. It's either they accept what we give them or we take 100% ownership of this and make sure that the people of eThekwini do get the benefits of this project as it was envisaged when it was first launched. We can no longer agree to a point where we overcommit ourselves, we over-negotiate with people who think that they want to make profit at the expense of the people of eThekwini. Therefore, as the DA, we will not agree to this item until such time that we take a firmer stance as this municipality to make sure that we serve the interests of the people of eThekwini. Equally so, we are not going to agree to a situation where these buses are handed over to some operators, because we know as it stands, the public transport system in eThekwini is operated by some individuals who make profit while people of eThekwini do not enjoy the safe and efficient public transport network. Therefore, our position is that let's take 100% ownership of this project if the so-called stakeholders do not agree to what we offer them. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor, Councillor Mavundla.
Ngiyabonga, Speaker. Speaker, I've been a chairperson of human settlement and the leadership that I win with there only for the last about 8 months now. And one thing that was on top of our priority was the issue of Gotepen, which we've been engaging to try and find a common ground with the industry. I think we're at a point now where we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm then getting very, very concerned from the Honorable Councillor, but all that I can report officially to this council is that we seem to have reached where we wanted to get, and that is what part of this presentation it's all about. And if the councillors can bear with us that if the city have failed for the last 9 years, some of us were not here. In the last 7 months, we've done a lot to conclude on this particular issue. We can't be emotional about it. It is not going to help anyone. I, for one, and the leadership in the cluster, we just don't have time to play around with it. We need to be very honest to one another. And that's exactly what we are doing. Part and parcel of what we're requesting today is the council to give us a go-ahead to finalize our tactical adjustment with the industry. And we think that's what's going to take us forward. If this council come in a way that we're being emotional about it, we'll then need some iron men then to go and negotiate this deal. So we need to know so that we are out. But I'm humbling myself and saying, let's get this to conclusion, and it will be concluded this time around. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mavundla. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Absolutely not from the DA, Chair. We are voting against.
The DA is voting against. Anyone who's voting against?
Freedom Fund Plus as well, against.
DA and Freedom Front Plus, they are voting against. The rest are in support. Let's record that. Thank you very much, councillors.
Action
Manager
is voting against.
What was that?
Action SA is voting against this.
Okay, thank you. System Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. 4.4, Public Transport Service Improvement Incentives Programs. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much. Councillor Pili. Councillor Pili.
Thank you, Chairperson. Good afternoon, Honourable Speaker. Speaker, some of the key objectives of this pilot phase of the Moja Cruise program was to empower the taxi industry at all levels in our city. It was also to help them provide better levels of service and safety for our commuters. It was also to help them develop the industry towards a more formal and scheduled service structure. And it was also to improve the standard of public transport in our city. So we appreciate this report appraising us of the progress that has been made since 2017. But these core objectives, which I've just mentioned, must guide us in our assessment of the success or the failure of this Moja Cruise program. Chairperson, we must be able to zoom into each aspect and do an honest assessment to try and ascertain if the intended objectives has been achieved or if there's been any tangible progress made in as far as this program is concerned. And if we are truly wanting to see real change and improvement in this self-made stagnant taxi industry, we, this council, must ask ourselves some of the most pertinent questions. And these are, what is the taxi industry been doing
Yeah, Councillor Billy are breaking.
Chairperson, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Sorry, I got disconnected there. So, Chair, as I was saying, that we must be able to ask some very pertinent question about this, about the taxi industry, about this initiative. And some of that is that what is the taxi industry on its own doing to lead the process of progress and innovation? Have this particular intervention really improved the industry? Are our people getting a good service and a safe in our taxis? Is there any structure or order on how the taxis operate on our roads? These questions are important. The report explicitly informs us, this council, of the challenges that exist with this program. And some of that include the warrants of arrest, which are preventing drivers from benefiting from this. And all of the problems identified and mentioned in this report, there's merely any tangible solution which is being provided here. The issue of warrant of arrest preventing many of the drivers from benefiting from this program appears to be a huge problem as far as this report is concerned. The reality is that many taxi drivers in our city have become law into their own hands, resulting in them getting punished and getting tickets, which leads to warrants of arrest. The poor driving behavior is deeply entrenched within the minibus taxi industry. The driver behavior is also a huge problem. So the report commits to driver training. It does commit to driver training, but it's completely silent on how this will be done, when it will be done, and if it's ongoing, how it's going to be achieved. The reality is that there's a clear need for enhanced compulsory driver training, which will speak to these challenges which have been identified. The report also speaks to the industry developing towards a more formal and scheduled service structure. But Chairperson, I'm sure you'd agree that what we see happening in our city where taxis do not have a very appetizing scheduled service structure where they are all over the roads. In fact, they've hijacked most of our CBDs. We can't drive, people can't drive on our roads because the taxis don't have any structured way of doing their business. Now, there seems to be no appetite by the industry to assist and formalize on their own. There's just no appetite, or instead what we have seen is taxis, just parking and picking up and dropping off people anyhow on our streets. And this program should be enhancing those aspects. It should be speaking to those aspects to ensure that our city is progressing and that there's less of such problems. But also the program, Chairperson, it speaks quite seriously about involving passengers and rating the passengers or in fact the passengers rating the drivers, in as far as this incentive is concerned. But we don't know and don't see how this is being done in this initial phase. We don't understand how it's being monitored, because ultimately what you want, Chairperson, is that when there is an incentive, the incentive is provided based on a true reflection of the good work that has been done by the operators, by the drivers, and not just simply being paid, whereas there isn't any way of really assessing if there's any significant improvement in how passengers are being treated, in how driver behavior is improving, and the associations as well, if they are completely improving and taking us forward. So, Chairperson, in a very true ANC style, the incentives that are given to the operators, to the associations, to the drivers, you can see from the onset that there isn't any sort of consequence management. It's just dishing out these funds, which ultimately belong to the taxpayers, to the taxi operators, without really putting in place, a system that will ensure. And even this report here, it doesn't speak on how this will be monitored and how these incentives will be paid in order to enhance the driver behavior and enhance the operation of taxis emgwaqweni yethu. But there's just that appetite to dish out these funds without really making sure that there's a standard that is being monitored and the performance. So, Chairperson, in our view, continuing to spend millions of the ratepayers' money on this program is not justifiable entirely in its current form. I think, Chairperson, the city's leadership must take a more deliberate approach in confronting the taxi industry and demand that they be the ones who take a leading initiative to formalize, to innovate, and the city must then be in a position to provide support and not simply lead that process. But what we are seeing is a taxi industry, like my colleague has said, Councillor Mthethwa, that they are law into their own hands. They are doing what they think is, what they want at any given point in time, and we are simply dancing to their tunes. We are not doing what is needed by the many people that really depend on public transport, on taxis, who are traveling to and from work using public transport. We are not putting those people first, but instead we are putting people who are.
Your time is up, Councillor.
Thank you,
Billy. Yeah, Councillor Graham. Yeah, thank you, Councillor Mavundla.
Ngiyabonga Somlomo. Somlomo ithuba elifana naleli ehlale lelihle ukuthi sibe nalo kwikomiti lethu. Somlomo ngicela ukuqala nabahlonipheki ngithi inkulumo yonke siyibeke umhlonipheki uBilly, siyahlonipha, siyayizwa, kodwa kubuhlungu ngayo ukuthi iposition yabo as iDA nge-15 ka-April 2021 they wrote to the media complaining about the program, and they put the figures as far back as 2017 as to where the program was and how much it has costed the city to get going. But what I forgot to tell the people of eThekwini is that they've implemented the very same program in Cape Town, which they took it from eThekwini. Somlomo, on the 25th of May 2019, EDA caucus discussed this particular program. One of the meetings where I was in, I did not support the program, and I requested to be given more information on the matter so that I can understand the program. And that particular information, I got it from the Honorable Councillor, the leader of the opposition, Nicole Graham. And in reading that particular document, I fully understood what eThekwini was trying to do by putting Moja Cruise in place. And we went into EXCO. This matter was discussed and it got the nod to get here. Now, it's not going to help us, Speaker, not to tell the truth as is. Some of us are too young to understand where is the African trader or an African businessman is coming from. If we don't empower the only industry that is owned by the natives, I'm aware that there are black people who are not natives, there are natives who are not natives, and then there are natives who are natives. If the only industry that is owned by the natives is us as natives, like the one that have just spoken, they are going to say we should not support it when we know very well that the industry that is owned mainly by Indians and some white, which is a bus industry, has subsidy. And the only industry that is not owned by us is not subsidized. And then you have some of us that will say we must do away with it. I don't understand where that comes from. Now, this is the reason why we need to support it. We needed to support it because for hundreds of years, it's been left behind. It needs to catch up, Babu Somlo. And the only way it can catch up is us as the carrying government to give it a conducive environment to function or to operate within. If we don't do that, they're not going to go anywhere. We'll keep complaining about taxi drivers that parks here and stop here and hoot and make the noise, not understanding what needs to be done. That is exactly what we're seeking to achieve. It is going to cost us money to get there.
Point of clarity, Chair.
This, Bam Chacha.
Maybe if you can clarify for us, Chairperson, did you give Councillor PG Mavunda a slot to speak as an ABC councillor?
I'm listening, Bam Chacha.
I'm saying, did you give Councillor PG Mavunda a slot to speak as an ABC councillor? Is that correct?
Kuyashisa khishini speaker.
No. Babu Mavunda today is an acting mayor because the mayor moved around. The two items,
Well,
the ESCO.
Uba Mavunda is a councillor in this municipality because he is an ABC councillor. That's the
Yes.
bottom line.
Yes, yeah.
So he has exhausted his time.
Yeah, but Babu Mtata, you know good, we are bringing the argument that we have dealt with it before and then it was clarified. But Mavunda,
No, there's no clarity that is needed. Mavunda PG is an ABC councillor. They only have 1 minute.
Right, let's allow Babu Mavunda to conclude.
Now you've given him almost 3 minutes.
Yes, Councillor
So why
Mavunda,
did you do that?
can you conclude, Councillor Mavunda?
No, he has concluded. His time is up.
Councillor Mavunda?
Babu Somlomo, asambe solvotela lo daba khona udingiswayo azoqonda kahle kodwa isikhalo sami sokuthi njengabantu abamnyama Somlomo.
Councillor Mavunda's time.
Ngiyabonga sihlalo.
Thank you. Councillors, is the recommendation on 4.4.25 agreed?
Great. No,
Agreed.
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 DA, Babu Mtata?
We are voting against the chair.
You are against. Thank you. ANC is for. DA against. EFF?
Abstain, Chair.
Okay, abstain. IFP?
Fully support, Chair.
Support. Action SA?
Not support fully.
Action SA support.
Thank you. APC?
APC support.
ACC?
Support.
ACTP?
Support.
AIC? DLC? APF?
Agreed.
ATM?
ATM supports.
Ajama,
Aljama supports.
JAP,
In support for.
KZNI,
KZN, I support.
MF,
Support.
NFP,
NFP support, Speaker.
PFP,
PFP supports.
PRM, TA,
TA support.
UIM,
UIM support.
Freedom Front,
Against, Speaker.
against, thank you. Well, one on
Hello, Mr. Speaker. The DLC abstains.
TLC abstain. PRM,
PRM support, Mr. Speaker.
AIC, AIC, no response. Yeah, except AIC abaphendulile.
It's only PRM Speaker.
Yeah, no, sitholile baba, sitholile.
Thank you.
Siyabonga. Please add the numbers. Thank you. Those who are in support, 117. Those who are against, 54. Those who abstain, 23. Thank you very much. Therefore, the item will be carried through. Thank you. City Manager.
Uh, 4.5 Audit Committee Report for the third quarter ended 31 March 2022. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. System Manager.
4.6 Proposal for the implementation of the annual eThekwini Municipal Spring Cleanup Campaign aimed at building resilience and enhancing partnerships between various sectors, communities, and government in caring for the environment. Committee recommends.
Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Ngoni.
4.7
Speaker.
Turn right.
Yes.
Turn left.
Speaker lapha ku 4.6 IFP.
4.6.
Yeah.
No. Oh, okay. Councillor Numale.
Yes, Speaker.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor. I made a mistake. Yeah, there is a speaker. There is a speaker on the item. Can I allow you to speak, Councillor Numale? Before we...
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Somlomo Thozo Xosha ithuba. Somlomo sithi le program inhle kakhulu izolekelela nje kakhulu ekuklineni kwedolobha. Kodwa ke Somlomo siyafisa ukuthi ama program afana nalawa umuntu ake acele futhi akeluleke ngoba sinokubona ama program afana nalawa agcine esepoliticized. Engathi ke bekungaba nje seyingqondweni zethu ke Somlomo namalungu onke ahloniphekile alomkhandlu ukuthi masiyokwenza lama program lawa singagcine sesibona abantu sebegqoke izikipa zeinhlangano ezepolitiki. Engathi ngawukuthi uma kuwukuthi khona inform uqiniso nje kulokhu thena ayigqoke inform angapoliticizedwa ama programs kahulumeni. Sifisa nje ukwenza leso sincomo leso. Kodwa otherwise siyayemukela futhi siyayisupport. Sithokoza kakhulu.
Thank you very much, Councillor Numalo. The item already has been agreed. City Manager, you in page 31, 4.7.
4.7, request for price increase under contract WS7090 for the supply and delivery of orange and clear recycling bags for a period of 36 months. Committee recommends.
Councillor Billy, then will be followed by Councillor Mavundla.
I'd like to
Mina
withdraw from
somlomela
those.
igama alikho lapho.
Aliko Bamkos.
Kwenzeke kanjani?
Oh, now
Awuthi
ufuna ukubamba le yakhambole ye-FF ukuthi angifuna ukuvela.
Anobe besubmithile uma kwenzeka iphutha ngakithi kulungile akusomlomo. Ayikho inkinga.
Okay, now we'll give you a chance to speak. Babunkosi uzokhuluma emva kaBhili. Then Councillor Billy, then Councillor Nkosi Mavundla will be the last.
Speaker, I would like to withdraw my name from the item.
Yes, thank you, Billy. Babunkosi.
Thank you, Somlomo. Njenga-IFP asiboni phela ukuthi ngayise lihle ukusupporta le item. Enye ama-item esikhumbula kahle ukuthi is linked into a case esenkantolo uformer MM no co-accused bakhe nabanye yayithinta yona i-orange bag recycling and etc. So we felt very strong that this one is very linked. They can deny it, but we know that the report was clear to say people must be charged. So until such a report, people have been cleared, and then we will support. But today we are not going to support this one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mavundla.
Ngibonge Somlomo. Somlomo, I think it's our duty in the leadership to also take the entire council on board to understand why at some point we get to certain decisions that need to be taken. With the volatility of the economical situation in the whole world, we all know that the plastic is a byproduct of petrochemical products, amongst others. And the price of the plastic is on that basis that it has to go up all the time. Well, we also had the issue of the COVID. Now, as it stands, the reason that takes us where we are, just as we know that the petrol has gone so much up, it is exactly the same thing with the plastic. It's something that nobody can do anything about it, but it's a matter of being correct. Hence, we bring it to the council and giving that understanding so the ratepayers of eThekwini understand why we're putting their money there. And that's all that it is, Babu Somlom, Sebo.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mavundla. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
No.
Let's get the screen, please.
Agreed. Agreed.
Let me get the screen. Councillor Mthethwa.
Speaker, just a point of clarity. This item, I just want to go back to the recommendations. Recommendation number 1 says that in terms of section 1163 of the Local Government Finance Management Act, as far as I understand this provision, it's not for council to agree or disagree. It has to be noted. I just want to go down and see if there's any of the recommendation that seek council approval. Because as far as I know, section 1163 is for noting.
No, you're correct, Nyambos. This is for noting. You're correct. Councillors, is the recommendation noted?
We disagree to note.
Because you disagree to note. Thank you, Councillors.
4.8, report to apprise Council of the withdrawal of Transnet from selling the DA's hostel to the municipality. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Mgoni. Councillor Kuala.
Yebo Somlo. Umuntu akabonga. Mhlambe le umuntu angathi futhi uNkulunkulu uhambele ngakithi ngoba kunezinto esingakazenzi okufanele ngabe siyazenza njengetheku. Uma ukhuluma ngeyindawo enjengama hostel. Ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe ebuholini bakho sihlalo ila othi uzama khona ukuthi kube nama platform ngoba sinenkinga nje amahostela owu-10 akhona eThekwini. Mangathiwa ngempela siphinda si-eda ubunini kwelinye lama-hostel, it won't be fair enough ngokwey'mali okuthiwa zilethwe eThekwini province to service ama-hostel. So asasehlula nje. So ngamanye amazwi Somlomo ngicathi kube into ekahle masizotshela ukuthi hayi ifeyilile le deal. Njenga-IFP siyabonga kodwa siyafisa kube khona izinto ey'khomba ukuthi ngempela ama-hostela ayiphathe and parcel yaseThekwini before si-ede ezinye iy'ngqalasizinda ey'khomba ukuthi ziyasehlula njengomkhandlu waseThekwini. Siyabonga.
Yeah, thank you, councillors. Councillor, this report is for noting. Is the report noted, councillors?
Noted.
Noted.
Thank you.
No, Chair.
City Manager?
Hlala.
Yes? There's someone talking?
Chairperson.
Yes? You can speak?
Hlala bengizama ukuthola ukuthi ubabugwalo bethini kodwa sihlalo ngiyangiconfuse i-report mawuthi and it's a report for noting mase kuba khona amazwi alandela ukuthi angazi sinothi ukuthi siyahlehlisa noma senzani angi-understandanga sihlalo. I don't want ukuthi ngithi and noted kanti nginothi into engingayizwa.
According to the report, is about the arrangement or the sales of a hostel owned by Trustnet. The idea is that the arrangement to buy or to transfer that hostel to the eThekwini municipality had failed. Therefore, now we are being informed or appraised as council that that arrangement to sell or to accept the transfer have not succeeded. The report in summary is about that.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe if I can check, what are the implications of noting this report?
The implications of noting the report.
Yes.
The implications of.
Oh, it's just noting.
Yeah, Njomane will answer your question. Yeah, there's Njomane.
My hand is.
Then I see the other hands. Let's allow Njomane to speak first.
Thank you, Babu Speaker. The effect of noting a report is the confirmation that the councillor has been made aware of a certain state of affairs. For instance, here, the circumstances are such that the acquisition of the hostel from Transnet has become impossible for financial reasons and others. So because there was a council resolution authorizing receipt of a hostel from Transnet to eThekwini, now that it has become impossible, the matter is brought to the attention of the council for noting so that you know that it's no longer continuing, but there is no decision that is sought from the council. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There are other hands.
Yes,
Councillor-
Chair. It's a follow-up, Chair.
Okay. Councillor
Ngifuna-
Mgwengwe and sorry, Babu, Councillor Mchembu, Councillor Mgwengwe and Councillor Madlali are noted. You will come after. Councillor Mchembu,
Okay. No, Chair, mine is extending if there is no decision. Remember, Chairperson, in 2009, we had a decision about taking the hostel. Then 2014, we reaffirmed that decision. Now we are noting into it Transnet is useyalidayisa i-hostel. What are we saying a decision? Are we rescinding the decision or we are just noting? It's where I'm confused, Somlom. The confusion yami la ilapho ukuthi i-decision esasithathile saphinde sayi-affirma still stands or ibulawa ile report esiyinotayo in today. Thank you, Somlom.
Yeah, thanks. Maybe Councillor Mchemzondi, they will legally might comment, but my understanding as a chair of the meeting is that we can only buy the hostel if Transnet is selling it. Yes, there was a decision to accept that the council, as council, we will buy the hostel, but as per the update or the report in front of us now, it looks like that deal or that arrangement could not yield the result that was expected from council. There have been a lot of issues that happened as per the report in front of us. But maybe legal will come later and provide further clarities on your question. But sitting in front of us, Transnet is not selling the hostel to us because they could not agree with the municipality on number of things that made them to sell it to a private owner or private individual. But Mhlongo will come later if there are gaps. Councillor Mgwengwe.
Thank you, Speaker. Somlomo, umuntu bezophakamisa la ukuthi kulolu daba singaze kube siyalinotha nje kodwa mhlambe silikhiphe kwentweni esikhulumayo namhlanje. One, Somlomo, lolu daba uma uqala ulibuka luvele liqale ngokuthi ku-withdrawa ukudayiswa kwehostela eThekwini. Yet we as a council we have never discussed ukudayiselana phakathi kwethu no Transnet ihostel, but ilaliza liyi-donation eThekwini. So ke nje I think ukuqala ukuthi there is something wrong. Two,
point of order.
There's a point of order.
Sihlalo 4.8.2 second line. Sina into ethi the council resolution obtained on 4 December 2008. Yabong.
Yeah, thank you very much. Councillor Mgwengwe.
I think ukhilani uvumelana nampela akufunde kahle iloko engikushoyo ukuthi this council has never received a report whereby the hostel was being sold to eThekwini, but the loko kusho uCouncillor Ugwala, it's where the council received a report of a donation to eThekwini. So
Can I ask for a point of order, Chair?
Councillor Mavundla.
Chair, I'm raising a point of order. The matter was discussed and concluded, and Councillor Zondi was seeking just a clarity which was given. Now it seems as if we're going back in Ngiyabonga.
Thanks, Councillor Mavundla, because I've already noted hands that were raised on the item because I've allowed other councillors to speak. I think it was fair for me to give those that have been noted a chance to speak on the item. Conclude, Mgwengwe, then Malala, you'll be last.
No, Chair, actually umuntu bencoma ukuthi lolu daba lolu eke silihoxise kulo mhlangano namhlanje lubuyele ku executive mhlambe na kwi committee la human settlement ngiyabonga.
Thank you, Malala.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Ngisakhonda i-letter speaker ethi asili-withdraw ngisafuna ukumotivate ngizomosha isikhathi. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much, councillors. Councillors, there's a proposal for a deferral of this item back to ESCO for further consideration. Is the proposal supported?
Supported, Speaker.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Any counter view? Anyone with a counter view? Okay, thank you. The item is being deferred back to the committee. Thank you. City Manager.
Item 4.9, draft IDP 2023-2024, committee recommends.
Councillors, 4.9 is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
4.10, Service Delivery and Budget Implementation Plan SDBIP, quarterly reporting 30 June 2022, committee recommends.
Thank you, councillors. Is the recommendation noted?
Noted.
Thank you. We will now move to the second supplementary agenda. City Manager, let me check here first. Let me check. Deputy Mayor, please table the report.
Ngiyabonga Sihlalo. We are on the third report now. Thank you, Sihlalo.
Okay, councillors, because you received this report while we are already on council, I gave you an hour to have caucuses. I will then allow you to raise hands if you want to speak on item, because you could not submit the list of speakers in time. It means if you want to speak on the item, you will raise your hand, then you'll be recognized to speak. As City Manager.
Speaker. Speaker.
The report has been tabled already by the Deputy Mayor. Now I'm allowing the City Manager to read the item.
Item 1, report of the Economic Development and Planning Committee meeting held on 27/7/2022. 1.1, request for approval of fund to fund the Kippa Gorge Nature Reserve in line with the requirements of Section 67 of the MFMA. Committee recommends.
Thank you. There are two hands on this item. I hope those hands, they want to speak here. Councillor Mtetwa, you will be the first. Malala will be the next. Mtetwa. Mtetwa. Can you please try to unmute him? Yeah. Mtetwa, you are unmuted this side. Mtetwa, please unmute yourself.
Speaker.
Yes.
It's Councillor Bowman. Councillor Mteto has asked if you could please unmute him from your side. He cannot unmute himself from his side.
Yeah, he has been unmuted this side.
Thank you.
Councillor Mtetwa. Let me take other hands while Councillor Mtetwa is sorting his mic. Councillor Mtetwa, are you still struggling? Councillor Madlala, then Moose will be the last. Madlala.
Honorable Speaker, are you there?
Yes, you are audible. Madlala can speak.
Yes, as a NC, we support the recommendation, and we note everything else that has been said. In the interest of time, we think this is going to serve the community of eThekwini with great benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. Bosi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as an ANC, we support this recommendation, looking at the importance of the nature in the lives of the people of eThekwini, and especially with the effect of global warming becoming a reality. Nature reserves serve as a habitat for different species of animals and plants. So ngesizulu sithi ukongiwa kwemvelo lokho, so kufanele singabi nawo umona mase thina siphilile isizukulwane esisha sikhule singasazi ukuthi inyamazane into enjani, umsilingi isihlahla esinjani. So siyayisupporta kakhulu le recommendation ekuxhasekweni kokuthi siqhubeke nokongiwa kwemvelo ukuze abantu baseThekwini baqhubeke bazi ukuthi imvelo into enjani. Siyabonga kakhulu, Speaker.
Siyabonga. Councillor Mtetwa. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
EFF abstain, Speaker.
Okay, EFF abstain. It's only EFF, eh? Thank you, City Manager.
Thank you, Speaker. 1.2, hosting of Township and Rural Investment Summit in August 2022 at Octavia Hotel in Nanda. Committee recommends.
Page 4, 1.2. Is Councillor Kupega, Councillor Mngati, Councillor Mieni, Nicole, Councillor Bos will be the last. Councillor Kupega.
Thank you so much, Speaker, and greeting to our colleagues. Speaker, we Action SA support this initiative, especially because iya emakhaya and izothuthukisa indawo zasemakhaya. Ebaluleke kakhulu njengoba sazi ukuthi namahhotela anjengalawa asezingeni awekho endaweni zakithi zabantu abamnyama. So as Action SA, we see ukuthi this is an opportunity ukuthi isummit nabangayazi bazoqala ukuyazi mase kwenzeka izinto ezinjengalezi. So sisupporta kakhulu njengo Action SA. Siyabonga.
Councillor Mngati.
Ngibonge Somlomo. Speaker, This council sometimes is guilty of conflating issues, oftentimes issues that shouldn't be conflated towards one another. What I mean by that, Mchazutini, Speaker, is that the idea of taking this event into a rural area and essentially advertising and speaking in favor of rural development and investment is absolutely something we should do. But I don't think, Speaker, that we govern in isolation of the context with which we find ourselves in on an economic level as a city, and definitely on a service delivery level to that. What do I mean by this, Speaker? I think committees like ECOD, and I was engaging a few colleagues after the meeting yesterday. Committees like ECOD will always suffer in terms of, fulfilling what we call nice to haves in times of what we think should be austerity and definitely tough fiscal decision making. Because ultimately, when the ratepayer does not feel fulfilled, things like these events, which are costing, I believe, 1.4 million rand to host, begin to need to fall away, or at the very least, we need to be excessively conservative in the way in which we try and still keep to the idea, but ensure that we aren't spending money in a wasteful nature. And so, Speaker, 650,000 rand for what is deemed media and I believe it's called media and advertising just for this event, to me is problematic and wasteful expenditure. And the Democratic Alliance can't support 200,000 rand for a consultant to, I guess, plan what essentially is a talk shop, an idea exchanging event, not dissimilar from what we're doing here today in council. It's something, given that, the city isn't doing too well, that we can't support. And so these items aren't or should not, if we're practicing good governance, and we've been mentioning Cape Town a lot today, so I hope we use it as a model in decision making as well. We can't, when we then look at how we govern and implement programs, not consider where we are as a city. And that's why we constantly find that, especially on the part of the Democratic Alliance, we take really strong positions on these kinds of items. Because hosting a talk shop at the Octavia Hotel in Nanda, into mhlampe esingathi, you know what, singayincoma njenge. But the associated costs, which are now coming, are very, very problematic. And we can't govern in isolation and say, well, we're going to jackknife ourselves by saying this is an idea of taking investment into rural areas, and so we're now going to support it at all costs. We can't afford that. The economic model the city is running is unsustainable. And the Democratic Alliance seemingly is the only party in this House looking at that as a danger in which we're practicing in the city. So, Speaker, for all intents and purposes, this is an item the Democratic Alliance didn't support in committee and won't support here, and urges Council to sustainable means of engaging communities and driving economic development. These kinds of things really speak against the austerity we should be taking and, really tough fiscal decisions we should be making as a city. And unfortunately, within economic development, one of those committees that we just aren't going to see these programs passing because of where we are as a city. I'll leave it there. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Councillor Mungati. Councillor Mieni.
Thank you, Somlomo, opportunity. As the NFP, ishayile izandla kakhulu le initiative. One, signode ukuthi even the venue of the summit is Nanda, which is a new hotel, which is owned by abantu bakithi abamnyama. Siyafisa futhi ukucacisa kakhulu ukuthi abantu baseThekwini kufanele bazi ukuthi at all times obani abama sendleleni yentuthuko yabo, ikakhulukazi emabhizinisini, kwi-sector futhi enkulu kakhulu la ye-tourism, la uthola ukuthi kugcwele khona abebala elithize. ispeaker engiza emva kwaso se-Democratic Alliance siqinisekisile ukuthi i-DA ayifuni kangakanani ukuthi osomabhizinisi bakithi bathole ama-platforms where they can share imisebenzi yabo moving forward. As i-NFP sishayela izandla le-initiative, siyafisa futhi nokuthi sifake i-proposal ethi moving forward siyofisa ukuthi even i-advertisement yakhona ikwazi ukufinyelela ey'ndaweni zonke so that bezokwazi ukuthi babe baningi abantu abazo-attenda this summit because izokwazi ukuthi ilekelele osomabhizinisi bethu abaphuma ikakhulukazi esikhathini esikade singekho right sokuthi bakhulise amabhizinisi abo.
Thank you. Councillor Nicole. Councillor Nicole. Okay, thank you.
Speaker, can you clarify? Yeah, if you could withdraw for me, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bose. Love.
Ngiyabonga Somlomo. Somlomo. Uqinisile ukhansela uMngadi ayi uyilwelile i-constituency yakhe. Uyilwelile impela i-constituency yakhe ekomidini. Wangabi nawo amahloni ukuthi bona njenge-DA bafuna ukuma endleleni yokuthi kuyiswe amathuba kubantu baselokishini nabantu basemakhaya. Bengitshela ukuthi mhlambe kuyobe sewushintshile umqondo namhlanje secabanga ngenye indlela kodwa ke nangu usamile ephuzweni lakhe. Engifisa ukusho ke Somlomo njenge-ANC sohlala ngaso sonke isikhathi sizeseka izinhlelo eziwukuhambisa amathuba nokuthuthukisa umnotho ey'ndaweni zasemalokishini nasey'ndaweni zasemakhaya. Ukubuka ke nje ukuthi ngokomlando esiphuma kona abantu bakithi abahlala kulezi ndawo bebencisheka kanjani amathuba nokubuka nesikhathi ke esiphuma kusona indlela osomabhizinisi bethu abakhahlamezeke ngayo kulezi made sibhekene nazo. I-population Somlomo njengamanje eThekwini iwu-3.9 million and lo mphakathi lo esikhuluma ngawo lolu hlobo lomphakathi esikhuluma ngawo abantu basemakhaya abantu basemalokishini, the more i-population ikhula the more kune-demand yamathuba, the more lo mkhandlu une-responsibility yokuthi unakekele i-population yala eThekwini ngokudala amathuba kulezi ndawo. So Somlomo ngokungananazi njengo-ANC siyaweseka kakhulu lo mbono. Ngiyabonga Somlomo.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ndlovu. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. City Manager.
.3, request for authority to continue the funding support for the Maritime Industry Development Program. Committee recommends.
Thank you very much, Mgoni. Those hands, if they were raised for the previous item, please lower your hands so that I can see councillors who want to speak on 1.3. Councillor Mieni, you are the first. Councillor Pega, you are the second. That order. Councillor Mieni.
So the speaker is an old hand.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Pega.
Thank you so much, Speaker. I've been following eThekwini Maritime Cluster. There's a lot of changes as wabonayo as Action SA, including ukufundiswa kwabantu abasha in different kinds of imisebenzi ekhona laphana umubheka kwezasolwandle. I've seen futhi ukuthi there are so many abantu abafundisiwe kuba okapteni ukudriver yona imikhumbi. Maningi ama opportunities that have been created for young engineers kuyona eThekwini Maritime Cluster. So ngaloko speaker siyafeel ukuthi njenge Action SA okuyinto ezosiza kakhulu even when masekuhlangene nezinto ezithinta ezasolwandle, especially ukuthi futhi bakwenze kwacaca ukuthi there will be report azobibhala annually ukuze as part of accountability. So sikushayela ihlombe kwaloko ukuqinisekisa into enjengaleyo. So ngalawo mazwi speaker, Action SA is supporting the MOU between us in the maritime cluster. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Pulen, then Boss will be the last. Councillor Pulen.
Thanks, Speaker.
About this initiative from this cluster is that they have lot of community outreach programs. They go all out to the communities, and baningi speaker amathuba eseswabonile iy'ngane zakithi zisizakala. Okuhle kakhulu futhi ukuthi ney'ngane ey'phuma ey'ndaweni zasemakhaya ney'ngane ey'phuma ey'ndaweni zasemalokishini ziyasizakala kulezi iy'nhlelo, okuyinto phambilini obekeke kusizakale abantu bebalela emhlophe kuphela. Beke kuba amathuba lawa abetholakala ey'nganeni zabantu abamhlophe kuphela. So siyasithakasela kakhulu le recommendation siyithakasela kakhulu futhi siyayeseka njenge-ANC ukuthi asiqhubekeni nale MOU no Maritime Cluster as a eThekwini municipality. Siyabonga.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ndlovu. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Agreed.
City Manager.
We agree.
City Manager.
1.4, Informal Economy Support Program. Committee recommends.
1.4, anyone who want to speak on the item, or we move? Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
1.5, Smart Exchange ICT Incubation Program. Committee recommends.
1.5, any speaker?
Speaker.
Yes, Mom Tetra.
Speaker.
Yes.
Can we 1.4 and read the heading, please, for me?
No, we're done with 1.4 now. 1.5.
Oh, I need us to vote accordingly because I'm struggling to connect here.
No. We are 1.5 now, not 1.4. 1.5, any speaker? No speaker? Councillors, page 8, 1.5, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you, City Manager.
.6, Review of the Economic Development Incentive Policy 2022-2023. Committee recommends.
Page 9, 1.6, any hands? There are no hands, councillors. Page 9, 1.6, are the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Thank you. Nguni?
1.7, Durban Business Fair and Durban Fashion Fair programs for 2022-2023. Committee recommends.
Do we have hands? Councillor Alicia? Councillor Mngadi Sakile, you'll come after Alicia. Councillor Alicia?
Good day, Speaker.
Yes.
Thank you for recognizing me. It is quite correct to say that our focus should always be on economic growth, and we should always focus our attention on the distribution of funds. It is also integral that we put the city's money in areas where we can grow our economy. That being said, can we really and honestly say that our economy can be supported in the current market, which is needy of our intervention to rectify the conditions of the marketplace? Can we, in good faith, say that as a municipality, we have in place conditions for growth of our economy? I don't believe we have. Our infrastructure is currently shockingly lacking, and we need to focus and place funds on where we can support the businesses in their economy to thrive. We have heard committee's reports on so many failures of basic infrastructure and services that are meant to support our economy and market. Many businesses and the market itself is still recovering from the looting and the floods. And while the DA has previously supported these items, we have to be fluid and change with the current needs of our community. And right now, our community and the businesses do not need a place to showcase what they are able to offer to a market that is currently struggling to exist. Now is the time for us to restructure and pool our resources into the needs of our communities, the economy, and the market. If we are able to do this, we will see the rewards in a more tangible way. However, and right now, placing almost 30 million rand in a business and fashion fair would not be in the best interest of either the current needs of the economy, the market, or our communities. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Kazarisha. Kazal Mngadi.
Thank you, Chair. I've been covered quite greatly by Alicia Kasoon, but I think what is worth taking home here is a really important understanding that we can't event our way out of economic downfall. And Speaker, what that means is that we can't keep placing events in the limelight of directing economic positions and policy that create an environment that is conducive for business growth. Putting people in that showcasing their items when there is no market to, enfranchise and buy those particular items is really bad economic planning, policy, and implementation. So from the side of the Democratic Alliance, we certainly won't support this item for the very reasons we keep saying that the city needs strict fiscal reform, and we need to start instituting really, really strict austerity measures to ensure that we create an environment conducive for growth. These businesses need of service delivery to attract clientele and to attract investment to stimulate their ability to cope. This is economic. Like I said, will not support. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Woos.
Ibonge Somlomo. Somlomo le program le program eqhubekayo. Besilokhu sihlale siyisupporta nje as ANC. And into enza siyisupport Somlomo ukuthi it creates platform for our young talent, especially from the disadvantaged communities, to blossom their talents. And ama success stories Somlomo ayakhombisa lokho. We have a number of young people abathole ama opportunities through le platform le EU Business Fair. Kwa business fair Somlomo kusuke kunosomabhizinisi abasuke bekhona i-platform la ku-network wakhona baningi abantu abasha through i-network eyenzeka through business fair asebephumelele empilweni ngokwamakhono abahlukahlukene ngaba sebhizinisini lokudla ngaba sebhizinisini lokuthunga bafike bakhangise ngemisebenzi yabo bathole nethuba lokunetworker nama investors abanye bathola ama-funders khona lapho amabhizinisi sibabonile bethuthuka. So asikwazi-ke njengamanje ukuthi sithi sinento enhle kangaka bese siyihoxisa ngoba nakho sicabangela indaba yokuthi sicabangela indaba yemali. Le mali le esispendayo si-create le platform ilekelela kakhulu ukuthi si-create or sinciphise izinga le-dependency kubantu abancane abasakhula abaqhamuka kuma-previously disadvantaged communities. Vele-ke ngala besuka ngakhona okhansela umngadi la besuka ngakhona hhayi vele ba-right bona, they are well off, abasizakali kulama platform akhona. Vele le platform enje ayibasebenzeli abantu anjengabo because they are well off. So as an ANC siyayisupporta le recommendation Somlomo.
Thank you very much, Councillor Ndlovu. Councillor Madlala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I've been greatly covered by Councillor Ndlovu. Safe to say that in our trip to New York last few months, the mayor of Milan, Mayor Pepe, and the mayor of Freetown, Mayor Akisoya, showed great interest in the program that is run by Utepet Business Fair. You'll know, and I'll remind you that this program has taken young designers from the township who had no hope whatsoever and taken them to go and learn from the best in the industry in Milan. I will remind you, Honorable Speaker, that we're the only city that has opened a shop through the Durban Business Fair, where young designers from our city design clothes, and we open a platform for them to showcase and sell their clothes. Because go to any emerging business and ask them, they will tell you that one of the problems is access to finance and access to markets. Now, if you are able to provide both those, you've already made a difference. Now, it's a difference between doing that and paying more people about 350 rands that are being paid by the national government. So I doubt that any sane and country-loving South African will opt for the dependence of the 350 rands instead of investing money to train our people to go and showcase their skills, to acquire more skills, and to contribute meaningfully in the economy of our country. We support, as the ANC, we support this initiative. We wish there were more of these initiatives. Siyabonga.
Thank you, councillors. On page 10, item 1.7, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed.
Agreed.
Thank you. Thank you. City Manager.
2.1, eThekwini Municipality Adjustments Budget 2021-2022, Committee recommends.
Councillors, do you have speakers? Any hands? Then,
Agreed.
Councillor Begte, your hand is up. Councillor Kavenda, your hand is up. Begte, Kavenda. Raise your hand so that you are unmuted.
Can you hear me, Speaker?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Yes, this is one of those items, Speaker, where you find yourself with your back against the wall. Because at first glance, we can see that we've got the expenditure, and very well so explained. We came to the storm, which was unforeseen. We can see the expenditure towards COVID-19, again, something that we did not foresee. But that's unfortunately, that's the smaller part of it. The big problem comes thereafter. When you start looking at water losses that run up to almost 800 million, of just over. You look at overtime for security at 19 million. You look at parks overtime at 40-something million. You look at park security overtime at 20 million. You look at electricity at 83 million. And so you can carry on, Speaker. And one would have to say, if you look around you, one would have to say, where are we spending the money? Because the sewage is still running down the streets. the beaches are still closed. So one would say, how are we paying overtime for people to sit at closed beaches? Because our beaches are effectively closed with the exception of a few. DSW, 63 million. You wonder, how is it that we cannot get the job done during the normal hours that we're supposed to work to the point that we have to now expend to this amount and adjust it? Yes, we can understand. We have to now to regularize this to get it back to it, because else we're going to have audit findings. And that will come to impact, and then the questions will be asked. So yes, there is the opportunity to fix it now, but one would have to ask again, how is it that we cannot get the job done in the 9 hours that's afforded to us? The problem is when people are not working in those hours, and then they come on the weekends and overtime, and they get paid for that, and still we don't seem to be able to get it done. Where do we draw the line? We're going to adjust this now, and like I said, you come in a situation where you have to now see, how does the options fall for you? Because on the one side, you can see that there's matters within this that are definitely wrong. On the other side, you've got the needs of the people to look at. And with that, let's take EPWP, for instance, 33 million, or the expenditure towards overtime for City Hall, or the hiring of a stage and crew at 12 million. How can we justify it? How do we tell the people that we're moving this money around, we're paying people, but the streetlights are still dark, sewage is still flowing, the water is running for days on end, even if the people report it, nobody comes out to it, but we've got 800 million that we have to adjust to make up for it. We hear the stories, we've got no people, and we've got no vehicles, and the vehicles are not running, and we've got no fuel. And then you look at the people sitting under a tree the whole day, eating sandwiches, or they go to a sewage pump station to come and inspect something that they know is broken, and there's no money. So we're going to adjust, and we're going to adjust. But at what time do we draw the line and say, when are we going to get value for the money that the people put into it, instead of all the time changing it when we don't get it right when the budget has been done? So one would have to wonder, we just passed the budget a month ago. We're going to adjust it in January. That's midterm, what you usually do. And then you come unforeseen circumstances in terms of the MFMA gives you the opportunity to do it again. How many times are we going to fix it? Why don't we just do it right from the beginning? And at the end of the day, why are the people not working in the 9 hours that are afforded to them, and then keep our backs against the wall for overtime? So yes, at the end of the day, Speaker, the DA is going to support this today, but very reluctantly, because again, we're standing with our back against the wall. We have to do, unfortunately, we have to do something which we feel is wrong in the very interest of the people. But the question is again, how many times more? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Pete. Councillor Kavenda.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, the residents of eThekwini are literally on their knees. We are emerging from COVID-19, the looting, and now the disaster. The DA's focus has always been to fight for budgets to address the municipality's critical infrastructure issues, especially water and electricity outages which plague eThekwini. The mandate and the implementation are usually so at odds that there is negligible focus on building and maintaining infrastructure to keep the lights on and the taps running. Now, a meaningful budget process and a budget that translates into a tangible difference on the ground is always the prize. It's always the first prize. People cannot pay more and receive less every time. The water distribution losses, as Councillor Bither has mentioned, has kept rising astronomically for a long time. And officials have blamed theft and illegal connections, but failed to address the elephant in the room, which is what the city is grappling with: basics. Inadequate fleet, no WDOs, no vacancy filling, no consequence management, no audit of quality of work. You know, in some depots, our plumbers are not playing marbles. They're actually playing cards because they don't have vehicles to get to work. They don't have vehicles to ferry them to the important jobs. The water shedding schedule has been nightmarish. There's no staff and no vehicles. The same narrative plays out with electricity. Defective streetlights, sewer spillages, DSWs, electricity outages have become synonymous with what services are in eThekwini. Come now, use this budget and put the people first. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Councillor Kavena. Councillors, is the recommendation agreed?
Agreed, Speaker.
Thank you very much. This was the last item on the second supplementary agenda. I'm correct, City Manager. We are done. Let's deal with few issues before we go to the in committee. There is a, do we have an impact? Oh,
Speaker, why
okay.
don't you start with the motion?
Yeah, yes, before we move to the report, we are going to start with the notice of motion is on the supplementary agenda, page 35. Yeah, councillors, we have a motion from Councillor Jane, page 35. Is the motion accepted, councillors?
Great.
Unkosi is the second of the motion as per the record in front of me. Can I get someone else, because already to Councillor Unkosi is a second of the motion. Can I get an indication? Is the motion?
Councillor Kwala. Seconded.
Councillor Mthethwa, Councillor Kwala.
Say support the motion, sir.
Oh, the motion is supported.
Councillor
Thank you.
Kwala.
Thank you. Mthethwa?
No, Chair, I was requesting to be unmuted.
Oh, okay. There's no any other hands.
Just for interest's sake, why is this motion, even we support it, wholeheartedly we support it, why is it on the supplementary agenda? Why was it not part of the main agenda?
Yeah, I might not know the reasons from the Secretariat, Chatter, but the motion now is here. Let's deal with it because it's in front of council now. And the motion is supported. There's no other contrary view, so that we record correct here. Is the motion supported? No objection, no counter view.
Yeah, sure, we support
Supported.
Okay, thank you very much. The motion is supported. We'll now move to the MPEC report. Do we have a report from MPEC? There's no report. A report from ethics. There's no report from ethics. We have dealt with the motion, and then Deputy Mayor, do we have a report in terms of the MFMA to council?
Thank you, Salo. No, I don't have that, but I have the fourth report, which we need to go into in committee, Chair.
Thank you. City Manager, do we have a report? No. There's no report from the City Manager. There are committee decisions, councillors, for noting. Are those decisions noted?
Noted.
Thank you. There are also items for noting.
Hey, we made it. Hey.
In the agenda. Are those items noted, councillors? Mama Dala, mute your mic. Items for noting are all noted, councillors? Before.
Noted, Slalo.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are now moving to the in committee. We'll give those who have to excuse themselves a few minutes to be excused, and the team to disconnect. The in committee can't be live. We are now disconnecting from our Facebook page. Thank you very much to all of you that you are going to be excused before.